NAVI, they continue their win streak as they take map 1 against Leviathan. I'm your host, Yingsu, and I'm back here with Mimi and Bala. This is the second and only time Leviathan have ever lost on Ascent on an international tournament. And Bala, it is against Angel and Co. once again. They just have their number.
Yeah, on Ascent too, where they look so good in earlier stages of the tournament. I think NAVI just has their number, like you said, and it's because of the things they're doing. In my opinion, Angel in that map, the calling that he was doing, and again, the prep that every player is putting into, that Sugetsu wall bang, the Shao ace, there's so many moments that you're just like, this is too easy for them. And there's one in particular that I'll show later that just Angel, it's the type of thing that you see from him constantly.
Yeah, it was a great map from him. And I think the way that NAVI defaults on this map is so excellent. Because you could see multiple times where Leviathan wants to fight forward, they want to go for some gambits, take space on this map, but they were never being allowed to do so because NAVI was so oppressive. And when NAVI eventually went for these executes, it was so good as well.
Yeah, and they throw a little fake here towards short. But what I really want to do is bat chest about Angel, because this guy's a boomer like me. And I know Josh the other day was talking about King and how, you know, he made Vitality bend the knee. But what is a King to an Angel in moments like these? Because he is just ridiculous. He walks up mid. There's this right here is Josh was shocked about it. Bren was shocked about it. Everybody should be shocked about this because he almost broke his wrist doing that. And it's so nice because he gives you that explosivity that's not a word, by the way, but I just made it up, that you really have against Leviathan when they're the type of team that relies on that sort of thing and not the other way around.
Yeah, I mean, the way that he plays on this map in particular is just so good because he's so willing to just like go for a solo play, double TP in. Anytime he sees a gap in a defense, spots a player out of position, he'll TP in, he'll close the gap immediately and pop off. And it just opens up so many options for calling in the mid round. That was just beautifully done by NAVI. 6-6 at the half, we thought they were out of that one, but you can never count out their attack side.
He only does things that he can do, I feel like. No one else does the things that Angel does. But there's another guy that was also popping off as well. It is Shao here in our Verizon high-speed moment of the match. The ace, you guys have that debate between King and Shao. And Bala, when his team needs him the most, he does this.
This is ridiculous. This is 2 bullets. He just shot 2 bullets. He kills 2 people and then continues to swing once the rest of his team is there. The patience for him to chill for a second as well. That's insane. But it comes down to a 1v2. And I mean, Sue, you were talking literally while this was happening. Oh, it's Shao. It's Shao. It's
He's gonna win it. Yeah, he wins these. He wins these. Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like he always does. For NAVI, I think it was those clutch moments on the defense that like it was moments of that got them into the game, but what closed it out was Angel and the calling on that attacking side. And for Leviathan, in the pre-show I was like, they've never had a half thus far where it seems like they are completely locked out. That's exactly what happened here. Despite taking multiple timeouts, they never were able to find a solution to what NAVI was throwing.
They're gonna have to dig deep here before map 2. Let's get a warm. Let's take a look even in the warm-up of the EMEA shoot around with King this time. Mimi, you spoke a lot about him, what he brings us to this team. How much do you think he needs to get his team together and step up going into Fracture?
I mean, I think a lot of it is going to be on him and also on kind of his ideas during the offseason. It's been a long time since we've gotten to see this team play on Fracture. We never really got to see them play it at Champions. So this is something where he's going to have to come in, have a really good idea of as a caller of how he wants to play this map, and actually this time succeed in outcalling Angel, which, as we've talked about a lot, is very difficult to do.
Yeah, and I think what was really tough as well was NAVI put themselves in such a good situation. In that second half, you had to give them so many opportunities to have that match point. They were so calm the entire time. You have to be pressuring them. And I think one thing that is really good about this series from NAVI, and just in general, is the way that they work the map pool. I mean, Josh was talking about how Fracture is kind of an unknown quantity from Leviathan, but for NAVI, it's been a strength for them in the past. And they really haven't been relying on it. So the way that they kind of make their pick really flexible is a strength that they have that other teams aren't really willing to do.
Which, I mean, I'm sure that made it quite difficult for Owner and for King to figure out where they were going to go in this map pool, how they wanted to prep for this one, but I'm sure they knew that Fracture wasn't going to be a possibility. Now the question is, what have these teams answered in the offseason? What is the composition they're going to run? Because previously, both these squads, we've only really seen it in the chamber meta.
Well, let's have a look here in the Prime Gaming Agent Select. We don't really see Leviathan play at all this map, Bala.
They played a little bit in the offseason, but one thing I want to know for sure right off the bat is what is NAVI going to go to? Because in my opinion, the Omen comp is dead with the new meta, with the way that...
They do it anyway.
They do it anyways. And the reason I say that is because the one-way in A main is gone. The one-way in so many positions are gone, and they go for it anyways.
Yeah, it's
Raze.
really interesting to see them go back to that one. Leviathan also running a double controller comp. But what I'm interested in is CNED versus Taco on the Raze. Both these players, known for their jet, have looked fantastic on it thus far. And I think there's going to have to be a bit of proof for both of them if they can be adaptable. Yeah.
Well, map 1, that was all Na'Vi. Let's see if Leviathan have what it takes to get back into this, Josh and Brent, and take us to a map 3.
Wouldn't that be something special? Map number 3 potentially there, but for the Leviathan, a massive task ahead of them here. On their opponent's map pick, got to bring it all the way back for that chance of not only revenge against the team that knocked them out at Champs, Josh, but also a chance of trying to claim the highest finish they've ever had in a tournament.
Yeah, it means so much for Leviathan, and yet they always keep running into this gatekeeper squad of Na'Vi. The desk was talking about how Na'Vi have had their number before in the past, and also I feel like, again, Na'Vi are just such a barrier for Leviathan to get through. This map is such an interesting choice too. Leviathan have been second round banning it every time in this tournament so far, and it feels like for Na'Vi, despite the fact that they're on the hunt for that second trophy, the first team that would ever do it, they're just so happy to play whatever, anything.
Really treating this tournament lock-in at São Paulo as a bit of a jaunt at times, honestly, as well. These pick bans across the board. Perfectly willing, perfectly willing to give away any information, but it's that contact play and a fight taking place. Space was gained there for Leviathan, using that util to clear up the angles, but traded quite effectively. And down to just Mazzino, already position known, and CNED not even offered the chance to hit any bullets.
That is the third pistol in a row that's gone the way of Na'Vi. Think about how different map 1 could have been if they'd traded pistol rounds. If Na'Vi hadn't been allowed to have access to a bonus buy, it could have made all the difference in this series. And when I think of top South American teams like Loud, like Leviathan, I think of excellence in the pistol and in the bonus. Leviathan have not showcased that here today, and it may end up hurting them. No force buy either, so Na'Vi allowed an opportunity to build the bank up early. And there are so many interesting things to talk about with these compositions. I think I want to follow up from the desk immediately, though, and just the CNED Taco story.
Yeah.
We saw them go head-to-head in the jet battle. I think you could say that CNED came out on top there, was able to be set up by his team a little better and found a ton of value. But it wasn't the defining factor. The Raze battle here might end up being defining. We've seen both of these guys struggle a little bit more on Raze compared to their jet. And it's been a big talking point, especially with CNED.
Yeah, that was the underlying question.
How deep does his agent pool actually go? I thought we might end up seeing him on Sage here.
Exactly. Plan's going to be easily come by, so the Vita now just grouping up, making sure that they don't give away again any ult orbs unnecessarily by throwing their lives away into a lot of these Na'Vi players.
I think it's difficult when you play against Navi's buy because you really need to kill 3 players even to take a single Spectre out of their hands.
Yeah.
And it's only when you kill the 4th player that they really start dropping weapons that are really important to them. So it is going to be Leviathan just all dying to the spike here. Doesn't allow their ults to go up either. Keeps everything in stasis. And Navi's attack side with these kind of compositions, though they've never run this exact comp before, but then this idea where they're running the Omen, the Viper, the Raze, this kind of stuff, they normally play quite slowly on the attack sides. They're going to look to establish control and stop any aggression early, and then squeeze one portion of the map.
That's going to be the goal.
I think it's going to be
steady.
It's going to be quite difficult for Leviathan to get aggressive. If Taco wants to take early fights, which he usually does, over a quarter of his fights are done at the beginning of the round. I think it's going to be very hard against Navi's comp here.
Love that shot, just straight through the tiniest of gaps.
That's what Leviathan are looking to do, break through the glass ceiling.
Let's see if they can achieve a little bit more compared to what they've done in the past. But again, running into that roadblock. Na'Vi managing their economy well again. Same talking point that we were bringing out in that previous map where they've got those rifles.
One nade from CNED here, and Shy's setup is Heaven is dismantled. King, though, finds the first, and that's important, the IGL battle.
Great opener. Nade's going to be heard. Shy, obviously activating that Nana Swarm, making sure that nobody can take that space towards the back of Arcade. But now, cutting noise for ever so slightly. Shao knows there's a player there. Paranoia and a Satchel pushing forwards now. And Shy who's really pushed back, and he can't quite get anything else done with it. King's going to start to feel it now. The pressure to squeeze from the players moving forwards, and he needs some relief from the rest of his team. But they're just all smoked off. Mazzino, how does he want to play this now? Just waiting for the smokes to fade. Bit of util left.
It's a great position from Shao. He's got to be hard cleared.
Has to be hard cleared. That nade, though, gives him an opportunity. It's a pop flash play. Shao wanted to get aggressive right into their faces so that he couldn't set it up. Taco, a bit of an unusual satchel. Maybe not intended, but doesn't clear too much, and they are really running down the clock, waiting for that Viper wall to go down. Still Zyppan, the reposition. It's up to Sugetsu. 1v3, first shot found. 1, 2, 3! That is absurd!
Giving me flashbacks to the final play to win Masters Copenhagen. NAVI, they're in trophy lifting form. You can see it with every move of their players, every moment of pret that comes to life. And then magic like this. God, they're good.
Insanity.
And the small eyebrow lift from Ona there, I think that's all the emotion you can possibly afford to give. I mean, what can you do there? You just got to shrug and accept. Sugetsu is sometimes better. He's just better.
Yeah, Sugetsu apparently warms up for Aim Labs by playing Valorant, but...
I mean, how can you not look at a play like that and just be amazed? Sugetsu is him.
Oh. So probably not the intended area for that Viper Orb. Good observing. Watching that one, and there was a bit of exploration from Leviathan on their weaker buy. They pushed all the way out there, trying to collapse on any player that might have just been lurking through, and really just picking up stragglers now.
And I think the other thing that bears mentioning about that play too, he doesn't do that if he doesn't have a Vandal. You know, a classic bonus round buy that sees him with a, you know, a Bulldog or a Spectre in his hand. He's not pulling that off.
No.
Navi's maintained their place at the top of the scene in terms of being great on these round 3, round 15 buy manipulations. And I don't know why other teams haven't started doing it more.
Yeah, it's given them a massive edge. It can be difficult to manage in the moment, but Navi seem to have perfected it. And it's already set them up. This is going to be an easy 4-0 lead.
And for Leviathan, this is not a great map for them. So starting out 0-4 down is rough.
Yeah, the prospects of trying to bring it to the team that, as I've said prior, as we've been hitting over and over again, knocked them out at champs, denied them that chance of breaking through that barrier. 7-8, 5-6, whatever the placement was at these global events. This was supposed to be Leviathan's time to strike. This was supposed to be the tournament where they were going to be really making a name for themselves as a contender for that top spot. And maybe they still are. Maybe they just got unlucky in this circumstance in terms of running into a team like Navi. But
it is rough. I mean,
rough.
Navi are just so disciplined. They never offer Leviathan opportunities to thrive in the chaos. And yeah, on Fracture, Leviathan are 3-2 all time. But against partnership teams, they're 1-2. So they've been getting their wins against tier 2 opponents in South America, honestly. And that doesn't bode particularly well. We're going to need to see fantastic performances here out of, sure, the game plan, and Ona's going to be spitting that out to King, but I'm looking more towards individuals.
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to be able to win this game when Shao has over a 2 KD and he's winning, you know, 60-70% of his duels. I don't think you're going to be able to win this game when Angel's top fragging for NAVI, doing whatever he likes. We've heard from people that have scrimmed against Leviathan that they are very dangerous. We've seen it in the server too. The players like Shy, Mazzino, Taco, King. And Nozra's had his moments, but they're falling a little flat here. So a timeout, get their heads back into it.
Yeah.
What does this look like?
Level of calm across the board here for Leviathan to try and get back into this before Navi really start to run away. So close attention going to be paid as well. Leviathan do have at least that one ultimate, the showstopper and Tackleer. Could potentially do something with it. Looks like they're setting up for a bit of containment there into A Horse early on, but guess what? NAVI are nowhere near. They're just holding pretty far back, ensuring that there's going to be no sort of push or shove.
And this is the game plan always from NAVI on this map. It's to very, very slowly, cautiously and safely take away map control from you on the attack side.
Yeah.
And it means for Leviathan, they need to find their moments and pick them very precisely as to when to retake control on the defense side. If you feel like you've lost Halls or you've lost Arcade, you need to group up and fight it and retake that area, but when in the round do you do that? That's going to be a big challenge for King.
For Fracture, a map where, listen, the attackers can start in 4 potential positions. This double controller comp can be really suffocating. Early util. Thread the needle with that one, King. Gets the one, but traded. So the nade did push him far out of that position. Nano Swarm at the feet. Through the smoke. That's to ensure that Angel can't follow it up, but you can't with this now. Shy. One after the other. Noswell, what a swing, but again, the discipline's there, and a satchel across Mazzino. Angel just caught so unaware. Shao forced to back away.
Okay, sure. Taco using his ultimate too. Presumably that was when he was actually getting out in the first place.
Yeah, maybe a little bit earlier when the heat was turned up, but for Shao, at this point, time far too low for him to clutch any sort of play. So, okay.
He's a clutch menace, but he's not winning that one.
Yeah.
A great round from Leviathan. And what did they do differently there? Well, first of all, King, under extraordinary pressure, finds the first kill. And so, despite having multiple players posted on his position, he actually gets one before he's inevitably traded. King is always dying there, but by getting one, he equalizes the situation for his team, and he gives the timing for the rest of the LEV players to swing through smokes.
Yeah, not just one kill there as well. He got a snake bite off so they couldn't follow through.
Yeah. He does a lot under immense pressure. I don't know whether he's always going to be able to give you that value, though.
And so finally, that one round that Leviathan were hoping for, hunting for. NAVI this time starting to threaten from the north side of the map through Arcade. That's going to be 3 players ready and waiting. A couple of them holding in far back positions just in case there was any sort of flash play. TP though, Shao. That's advanced, and the nade as well pushes off that angle. Nano Swarm is a response to that, so Shy doesn't want to give up that space too easily, but he is now once more going to be feeling that heat. Paranoia cuts across. Shy.
Look how NAVI just take the map, portion by portion, turn by turn.
Yep, the Paranoia actually fading away though, so Shy's still available, and that's a satchel across. Wow, almost being able to get 2 there, Vacinet. What a way to crack open the site. Linking up with the rest of his team now. Spike in the hands of Zyppan. And just waiting for this one, maybe for the Viper Wall to come back online, a bit more fuel for Sugetsu. But time is going to start to run low with this kind of pressure, 34 seconds.
Noswa should be hunting for a duel here, I agree with this, because if he gets a kill, suddenly Breach Ult is online for retake or for plan denial.
And so here we go, nade into the corner, stun as well, fault line pushes him back, Zyppan with that plant, he got his ult online. No command, goes across, survives on 5 health as well, is going to keep on kicking. And what is the play to be made here by Leviathan? A call is made to save.
Wow. Leviathan save more than any other team at this kind of level, but it can be heartbreaking watching them do it. 4-1 down and just giving up the 5th. Their big ults are going to start to come online here, and it is going to be more difficult for NAVI, but it just looks so methodical. And I think this is why a lot of people were favoring NAVI in this matchup. It's not necessarily because of what they've done in the past. Yes, this team has lifted a trophy. But when you watch them play at Lock-In so far, and admittedly a small sample size, the way they move around the map and take space from people and the util combos and the peaks, it's, forgive me the hyperbole, but it's verging on perfection.
Yeah.
And it's really difficult for these opposing teams to find avenues to disrupt it. I mean, let's think about what Leviathan could do in these moments. They could try and refight, they could have some kind of trap play in an area of the map, but those are prone to going disastrously wrong. They could send somebody on big flanks because getting rid of Sugetsu is going to really stop the attacking side, removing that Viper wall. But again, trying to play aggressively into Sugetsu and Angel when they hold such safe positions it's hard.
Couple of shots fired though from CNED, so that's some presence towards Arcade that might just anchor those the Vietnam players. You can see King was holding it, but okay. Nice little glide over to the south side of the map, keeping Sugetsu, or I should say Angel, over towards the north side. A fight being taken, Boombot. I don't think it revealed too much there.
Zyppan has so many of these great flashes. This kill could be everything, but Mazzino doesn't quite get it.
He misses it. Just that one sightline sees it. Oh my goodness, Mazzino maybe faking the jump up there. Yeah, okay.
My camera is destroyed.
Angel though taking that space, no fear. That was a fault line cutting across. Nade down to the ground as the cage was dropped out. Angel is doing so much right now. The misinformation. They don't know if he's dropped or what, but now finally revealed, and they're just being squeezed.
Counter spam.
Yeah, the counter spam. Trace is revealed. Satchel over the top, revealing that one angle of it, and they do strike back.
Breach ult as well is online.
But is it going to be enough there? Rolling Thunder pushing forwards. Need to make the most of this one. Did not catch on to Xiao. He could be the difference maker. High ground angle found, and my goodness.
He's unkillable.
Giving time for the weapon to cool down, and he takes his time with the shots. Shy left alone, 1v2. Lockdown popped. Those are the players are. Found one, cannot get the second. Zyppan. You said it earlier, Josh. It's really just approaching that perfection in terms of the way they play, weaving in and out, but it's heartbreaking for Leviathan. So many instances where they're just one player away, taking down that extra element to be able to take the round.
Mazzino getting stuck on site though and spraying with his Vandal offers that first kill maybe a bit too easily for NAVI. And that duel there, Xiao onto King, a game changer. Xiao's had so many of those moments. This tournament, I think he's been the best player for NAVI, and he just feels unkillable in some of those spots. Xiao and Zyppan both coming into this match had over 90% cast. That means there are barely any rounds where they are useless.
Oh my goodness.
A 1-for-1 trade as Leviathan tried to apply some pressure. This is like the first time that they've actually been able to find anybody in the early moments. I suppose that takes a Viper wall down, but do they even have the weaponry to convert?
Yeah, knocked down to the weaker buy. Look at that, just dropping the guns back. And look, they don't want to give them anything. Can drop the rifle off the edge if they really wanted to, but it looks like, is that going to be the thought process? Probably not. And they wait it out. Tension builds in rounds like these. The Vietnam are going to be the ones hoping for a shining light in the dark in moments. Anything to answer back. There was a fault line and a nade play there off the contact. Cena now going to be using his own to try and clear the close angle, and guess what? Taco was caught this time. Flash fully blinded up. Noz was there. Frenzy though can only do so much. Gets the reload off though, and there's the second kill.
What a huge play by Nozwa.
Quick TP pivot though. It's going to be the ultimate online. Instead, Xiao actually just trying to set up the crossfire. Gets into the site, and Shy's left with nothing but a classic.
Another moment there where King could have been a game changer. Had he got that kill onto Zyppan, that could have been round over. Now it's left down to Shy once again, facing the same two players.
Zyppan's weak though. One bullet will do it, but the reposition, look at this. That's so smart from Zyppan. Knows that Shy's going to be claiming that weapon. Knows that his position is going to be in halls most likely, and so they set up the crossfire. High-low setup, and you just don't expect that. I mean, Zyppan.
It's such an incredible off angle. And I think the final line of defense for both of these teams, they've both looked immaculate so far up until this point in the tournament. But Xiao and Zyppan still look immaculate. They are winning moments so consistently against Leviathan's players who we've seen be clutch, who we've seen hit incredible shots, who've been gobbling up their side of the bracket.
Let's get this done.
But Xiao and Zyppan at lock-in have been the definition of consistency. There is nobody that can make them crack.
Where is the answer from Leviathan? Oh my word. Trying to offset some of that maybe. There was spam from Cena early in these rounds, but somehow gets away with it. There's a kill. Viper's Pit in B main won't do too much for King because there's only one player lurking. That's Angel just on the outskirts of it. And if King tries to make a play, if he feels like he has to, Cam spots him. Spam from Angel. But they've given up so much already.
Taco is looking to try and get on a flank here. Oh, and Sugetsu just murders him over by the south side. That's my point. If you try to flank, these Navi guys are just so aware of it.
And look,
they're everywhere.
Is Leviathan feeling like they have to make a play? You got to push every single avenue. Someone's got to step up and be the hero, but it's not going to be King, not today.
Navi are battering Leviathan, mercilessly taking them to task. And it looks like there are no win conditions.
Yeah.
This map looks like a first round matchup where things are horribly mismatched. Just Navi, the top seed, Leviathan coming in with no expectations, no ideas. Map 1 obviously didn't feel like that. Leviathan had their chances to win. Had they taken a pistol, we could have seen a very different story. But out here on Fracture, it's the same story we've seen from NAVI. Their map pool is impeccable.
Yeah, I mean, they are playing everything under the sun.
5 maps in the pool now. They look immaculate on. We haven't seen their split and their perma-banning Haven. They used to be amazing on split too, by the way. What is this team?
And it's just trying to punish now. Anything to get that second round. Desperation, listen. Sometimes makes the most of it in rounds and moments like that. So 2 players fall.
And the spike.
Yeah, rifles in their hands on top of that. So,
but everyone's left Noswell.
Noswell's just alone there holding that angle? I mean, okay.
But this is the problem. Leviathan have gone so aggressive at the beginning of the round, pushing out Arcade, that they've given up information everywhere else, and they have no idea where Navi could be. Maybe that's why they're not going for plays like this on the rifle rounds. It's only been 2 eco rounds where they've decided to push aggro out through halls, out through Arcade. It's actually getting picks. Maybe they can still convert this one. They have no idea whether Navi have got the spike back, though.
Yeah, they give up that space, most likely because of those Viper walls cutting across some of the sight lines, but there we go. Spike is going to be retrieved. King solo. Jiggle peek. He does spot the players. It's going to cause that wall to go up, and guess who's close? Proximity. Taco Leah can't quite claim the shot, but King, good for the trade. Sugetsu, though, already making his moves, and he noted there's a player ready and waiting. It's King. Just not enough to do it. Still, the snakebite will bring Zyppan down to his knees. Spike in their hands as well. Still, prioritizing the res there. Shy is miles away. Spike in their hands with 11 seconds left. Flash play. Navi going to be feeling the pressure here. They have to plant this.
And it's a risk. Yeah. It's a risk, obviously. Shy could be Canteen, could be Generator, but he is not. And now they have a pretty good idea.
Dodge on the side of it, though. Flash wasn't too good. Viper's Pit in play. It's going to make the task for Shy that much harder. He's going to try and make this 1v2 a possibility. The fast rotation all the way around, though, and time is of the essence. Not just because it's ticking down, but the decay damage as well. Turret doesn't see anything. Shy brought down to 1 health, and he's just watching the wrong avenue.
Every moment, every 50-50, every play going the way of NAVI. Absolutely immaculate here, 9-1. Even if Leviathan win the next 2, and the pistol and the bonus, it's still not looking like an even match. And that's one hell of a task. I love how aggressive Sugetsu is out through B main, working off the rest of that info. And Zyppan forced to bow before King, but not for very long. Brought back up and allows Sugetsu to win the round. It's reactive plays working off the comms of the rest of the team. It's perfection.
Just dominating. Just dominating from Navi.
Leviathan are trying to get aggressive here in halls, 3 players, but Navi are happy to give. They use the clock as a resource.
And again, the first kill goes the way of CNED.
Just a reaction from the opposite side of the map once more. It is so diligent, so good from Navi.
Showstopper did go wide, but these players are starting to feel it. Oh my goodness, the rocket attack. Aaliyah can't even claim a kill off of it. They want to hold on to this space, but Navi have got all of it into halls. 3 players in sand to try and contest this one. Smoke blocking 1 avenue to spray down from Angel, wins the fight out, and it's Navi again who do respond once more. Time and time again, and it feels like nothing can be done. Heartbreak for Leviathan. can't quite claim even just that second round.
And the picture that was being painted from the other pros that had played against Leviathan before this tournament was, this is the time. This is the breakthrough moment for this South American squad. And instead, it feels like the same story again.
Yeah.
Fall into the gatekeepers, looking super promising, looking like one of the best teams in the tournament until suddenly they don't.
And the dreams get shattered. Final round of the first half. It's looking all but done. Takalia, it's desperation, isn't it, once more?
But NAVI have so many different looks. They've never been that aggressive in halls at that point in the round, and suddenly they are so prepped.
Ult ready and waiting for Nozwa. Wants to try and make a play of it, but look at NAVI again, man. I mean, the fast play in halls, and they just cut noise.
Angel's calls are so dynamic. It doesn't matter what you see from NAVI. They could be doing anything. Sometimes they'll hit off the back of that. Sometimes they'll back away. Sometimes they'll cut noise re-hit. It is impossible to tell from your perspective playing against them.
Nade at the back of King. Doesn't see a thing with the paranoia. The double satchel over the top. Oh, well, okay. Bit of a Viper difference. Rolling Thunder now pushing forwards, but that's not the weapon for the job. None of those angles. And they're just being caught unaware. Still Mazzino makes the most of this one. The lockdown, seen it. Well, you're going to be detained, son. Pushing a little bit too far forwards there, but
do they have any idea where he is,
do they dare even hunt for him? Exactly. Because already that's going to be fading away, and Noswa doesn't even catch the corner. Half clearance at best.
And Cena detained, still gets the kill.
Insanity, man, insanity. In the midst of all of that, the clock running down and NAVI get the plant.
If that isn't a microcosm of the entire map so far, I don't know what is. Just sums up everything that's been going wrong for Leviathan. NAVI getting away with anything they like.
And it will have to be the ace for Mazzino to get the second round on the board. He claims the third. What more can he really do? Util flying in his face, snakebite. A little bit wide there. Desperation, isn't it? Word of the day. When you're watching a map like this, 11-1 is that scoreline from NAVI. Sheer dominance. And they are just looking absolutely untested on this map. And guess what? For this halftime, we'll change things up a little bit more. Doug is down on the floor with a special guest.
Thank you, Brent. Yeah, I'm here standing by with Suga here, and there's a lot to talk about. Suga, primero todo, a ver, que se ve mala la cosa, se ve muy fea, pero ¿qué opinas tú del partido?
La realidad es que Leviatán viene haciendo un lindo trabajo en este lock-in, pero obviamente este partido sabíamos que iba a ser difícil.
Muy difícil.
Y NAVI creo que es uno de los equipos más fuertes de todo este evento y del mundo probablemente.
Sí,
así que creo que se ve difícil. Los chicos ya han tenido complicaciones frente a este mismo core cuando solía ser FanPlus Phoenix y han tenido dificultades. Hoy se están viendo ante esta adversidad, pero de todas formas creo que en el Ascent lo hicieron mucho mejor. Acá llegaron ya con ese bajón anímico quizás después del 5K de Yao en ese Ascent, que lo vienen arrastrando todavía.
I mean, ¿qué hace? Right? ¿Qué hacen con una pela así? She says it looks rough. Unfortunately, like they've looked really good in this lock-in tournament up until this point, but it just kind of seems like they've run out of gas, and they've struggled against this core before, right? And then with Xiao's 5K, what do you really do? Todavía tenemos tiempo para una más pregunta. En tu opinión, hemos hablado de NAVI, pero ¿quién crees tú que es el equipo más mejor del torneo?
NAVI, sin duda, y también creo que Loud perfila probablemente para campeonar aquí de local, que estaría interesante. Si es que Leviatán no logra tomar esta oportunidad en el cambio de lados, creo que Loud es claramente un favorito.
So I asked her essentially, you know, we've talked about NAVI, but who does she think is the best team here at the tournament? And yes, we've talked about NAVI, but Loud also looks incredible. Unless Leviatán can do something here at halftime to try to change the tides, it really just seems like it's going to be NAVI all the way. Muchas gracias, un placer hablar contigo. We are going to throw it back to the casters to get us back into this highly anticipated second half. Bren, Sideshow, take it away.
Highly anticipated, maybe if you're a NAVI fan, I think, because they are running away with it, honestly. One of the favorites coming into this event, Leviathan, they were not shying away from the gusto, you know, saying how good they were doing in scrims. You know, this is their time to strike, and all signs were pointing towards it until now.
And NAVI, the dominance that they have showcased in this tournament so far, I thought this was going to be a blockbuster match, 2 heavyweights, and NAVI have dismissed one of the top contenders from the Omega bracket. If they can do this here, what can't they do? A NAVI on for the 2nd trophy? We have never seen a team lift 2 trophies in Valorant. I'm getting that feeling from this squad.
Of course, don't forget about the other contenders on the other side of the bracket. Loud still in it, but...
Loud, DRX, you know, Fnatic, 100 Thieves, these are all big hitters. But I would have said the same for Leviathan. And look what NAVI are doing to them. It's not even fair.
They look so ready.
I must wait a moment.
So, taking up all that space now. King not messing around, moves forwards, and he's just running straight through the snakebite, hoping for any sort of timing there. Mazzino, 2 shots from the clip. Enough with the classic, but Sugetsu is that final boss, holding it down. The last layer of defense, and the spike drop down into tower. Triple re-push, Shy with everything to do here. Takes his time with it, and he is rewarded with the 2 kills, so maybe winnable though. Still, Taco put in such a hard position. First one's found, but does he anticipate this? Sugetsu, the reposition, moves to one side. No utility to his name. Still, crosshair placement is good for it, and okay. A pistol round claim for Leviathan, and it's a Red Bull clutch.
The barest breath of life for Leviathan, but at least they've picked up 1 out of 4 of the pistols in this series. I think it made a massive difference on Ascent. I don't think the same can be said here on Fracture, can it?
Enemy remaining.
Unless we're going to see both of these teams be absurdly attacker-sided. But I think those kind of tales, they're only in stories. It would be an absolute fairy tale, dream come true if Leviathan were able to mount a comeback of this kind of magnitude. Yeah, NAVI are so firmly in control. And you heard the Des talk about it, this one-way in halls, it's not actually dead, but it's not as good as it used to be before. And that's why we weren't expecting Omen to be run.
Oh my goodness.
But it's not even going to be challenged. NAVI, Angel looking like he's found the fountain of youth once more.
And this is just the Sheriff buys to add a bit more danger into a round that otherwise should have been easy taking for Leviathan. It's forced them to slow down for a moment. Got to wait for that util to fade.
It would be almost poetic.
Sugetsu!
It would be
no.
almost poetic if NAVI were able to win this one.
The players are scrambling. Doubled up here. Flash around the corner. A lot of damage being done, and they have just collapsed onto them. Oh my word.
The mechanics from NAVI, impeccable. The way they fight together, unbelievable. And their utility pressure, way too much for Leviathan. NAVI will spot him a pistol, but that's all they're getting here.
Seems like it. No more buffer room. No more room for error at all. It's 1 round, that's all that stands between NAVI taking it in 2 and looking like one of the dominant favorites, heading deeper and deeper into the São Paulo lock-in tournament.
They're the South American slayers, aren't they? They just seem to run into and knock out Crew, Leviathan every time we have a big tournament like this. The read that Doombros and Angel have is just too powerful.
Credit to the rest of the coaching staff as well on NAVI.
Absolutely.
Spike's going to be dropped down onto that north side. Of course, no other option other than to force up into this one, but you've already lost a player. King falling.
Yeah, King had to be so far out because of that Omen one-way again. CNED has been looking great here on the Rays too. Not really required to put on his best game, but he's been consistently good, and that's another part to the puzzle, right? We were wondering, we had questions about that.
Yeah.
And CNED has just answered them here.
So an exchange there of the IGLs in this round as Angel and King have fallen to Sugetsu. The smoke deep. Mazzino's playing inside of this one. Nade into the back, that's going to be pushing him forwards. Mazzino trying to take the space and a bit of running gunning. Why not? Does the job at the end of the day. Still, fight's not done yet. Job's not finished. Oh, the lockdown nade has pushed them straight into Zyppan. And if there was any hope in hell of trying to claim this round, it might have just been finished. Locking it away, it's got to be Takulia for any hope of continuing in this tournament. And he just opens himself up wide across a placement not ideal, paranoia. And he can feel it. No chance in hell. It's NAVI taking it 13-3.
Insane performance from NAVI, a statement match. They came out here and slapped Leviathan around on map 2 after beating them on their home turf of Ascent. You couldn't make more of a statement to showcase that NAVI are on their hunt for a second trophy.
This is a team that is not worried at all about showcasing strategies, different looks on different maps. They've come into this tournament with a different level of confidence. Almost like their goal primarily hasn't even been to get that trophy. It's just been, listen, show everybody how scary we really are. We want to take the challenge. We want to give people opportunities to counter Stratus.
Yeah, and I love watching this team. Leviathan impressed me so much with what they showed earlier on in the tournament. And I'm going to be highly anticipating their matches in the Americas League when they challenge teams like their South American rivals Loud and big heavy hitters like NRG from the North American side of things. But frankly, today they were outclassed. And I think that there's still clearly more to do for this Leviathan squad if they want to be a title contender. NAVI just showed them the gap between where Leviathan are at and what you need to lift the trophy. My word, impeccable perfection from NAVI today.
A few more steps, of course, until that trophy does get lifted. But for today, it is NAVI who reigns supreme, dethroning King, knocking him out of the tournament. They are going to be moving one step closer, of course.
And I think the teams that are playing later on today have got to be scared of this. Yeah. I know that, you know, you've got another EMEA super team on the other side of the bracket and North America's last hope. But NAVI have taken every team and ground them into dust. Xiao's barely died. Yeah. There are some players that might have died more in one series than he has the entire tournament so far. I mean, don't hold me to that, but I feel like it could be true.
This NAVI squad is just showcased over and over again now that it doesn't matter how many levels to their play you take away. You know, you remove Angel, he's often the first def, not that it matters too much. CNED, whatever, it doesn't matter. Listen, they've got those heavy hitters waiting at the sidelines, at the back, right behind them, ready to trade. Tagetsu, Xiao, Zyppan, it doesn't matter.
I also think you've got to give credit to Angel because he hasn't let his team down in any of these moments. The calls have been outstandingly good. His control over the team is wonderful too. The way that he's molded CNED over the last 4 months into being much more of a disciplined player that still has the flair. And then NAVI have got all the individual fragging from everybody, including Angel. He's out there popping heads against some of the scariest players in the world.
Yep, found some serious firepower. That's what's going to be awaiting a lot of teams as well as we, you know, set up that second series of the day as well, because they've got that to look forward to.
I thought we were going to be witness to an all-time matchup here today, and instead, wow, NAVI just put on a clinic.
Yeah, and I'm not even mad, honestly, as well. I think, honestly, you could walk away from this being like, man, why didn't we get the 3 mappers? Why didn't we get the banger that was promised? But
didn't want it.
Listen, that NAVI squad looked too damn clean. The match MVP below, you can vote for that one, of course. Xiao, Sagetsu, Angel, a lot of options available. And honestly, who do you even go for there? It's across the board, just parity on this team. Parity in bounds. But that's going to do it for the first series of the day. But as I said before, we do have one more match ready and waiting on the other side of this one. And you're not going to want to miss it. It's going to be an absolute banger. So we'll see you just after this.
Welcome back to VCT Lock-In. I'm standing here alongside Zyppan, and really, you guys just destroyed Leviathan. I mean, there was a lot of excitement for the series. People were like, is it going to be a 2-1? Is it going to be close? And you guys obliterated them. But I want to start with asking you specifically about your individual performance. Your first kill to first death ratio is just obscene, man. I think last time I saw it was 16-4. That's pretty good for not being a duelist.
Yeah, I agree. It's pretty good for not being a duelist. No, I think just everyone on the team is super aggressive. Right now we're just floating with confidence. We're not scared to take any duels. I think just everyone on the team is also getting a lot of entries. So yeah, just confidence right now, I think.
Oh, I mean, you're also getting, like, it wasn't you, but your team's getting TikTok kills through walls on Ascent. It's really just kind of dumb. I want to ask you about your strategy in regards to your map pool, because you guys have played 6 of the 7 maps, if I'm not mistaken, and it seems like this is just a far more broad approach when it comes to strategy in the tournament. Is that something that you did intentionally, and if so, why?
Yeah, I mean, we are confident to play every map. Obviously, coming into this tournament, we don't have any footage on the enemy team, really. So we just decided to go with our strong maps, but we're confident to play every map. So we were kind of surprised against Leviathan because they picked Ascent against us, which is kind of our best map.
Sure, it's theirs too,
also,
yeah.
we have footage on them, so they were kind of surprised, but I guess they didn't have any other option.
I mean, it was bad. It was real bad. Very last question I have for you, and then we'll throw it back to the desk. Given what we've seen out of NAVI up until this point, you guys seem like the best team in the tournament, and there very well may be a gap between you guys and the rest of the field. May be loud, but either way, it just seems like you guys are clicking on a different cylinder. You're getting better round after round. Why this team? What is it about this team? What's the magic sauce?
I just think, coming into this year, we kept 4 of our players right, so we still have that good chemistry, we got that good core, and with the addition to our assistant coach, like, Angel can focus more on shooting instead of making strats and stuff. So as everyone on the team has incredible firepower, everyone can pop off, and that's what just makes it so strong. We have good strats and everyone has incredible firepower.
I lied. I have one more question I gotta ask you. Angel's first contacts. I don't get it, man. Does it ever drive you nuts to see your IGL being the first one to go take a fight, the first one to die? I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
2 weeks before coming to Brazil, we were boot camping, and Angel, he was top rank every practice. So I don't know what he's been doing in the off-season, but it's clearly working. I don't know, it's just incredible to see him, 33 years old, just playing like he's 20 years old. I don't know.
He leaves hope for the rest of us old guys, and if it ain't broke, right, don't change it. Congratulations on the win, bro. Congratulations on what's left for you guys in the tournament. We're gonna throw it back up to the desk to break down the series.
Thank you very much, Doug and Zyppan. Bala, before all of this started, you were pitching to us NAVI. They are the best team in this tournament, and I think they proved that to you.
Yeah, this looked like every single one of their other games so far. The 2 other games, especially that one against Team Secret, they got challenged on the first map, but did they really? And then the second map, they just come out. I mean, this was their most dominant too. And I just love what Zyppan's talking about how comfortable they are playing different maps, how easy it was for them to play it into Ascent there because it feels like it's their favorite map. It just feels like they're so flexible in this game.
Yeah, this is also a team that is just so good with rolling through momentum. The casters were talking about this early in this map, right? They are almost always winning those pistol rounds, going for the FPX buy, I guess maybe now the NAVI buy since they've changed their organization, and then just rolling that momentum forward, keeping Vandals into the bonus round, winning that, and then just converting all the way through. Every one of their players is looking absolutely incredible on an individual level. Angel is calling a great game, and for the side of Leviathan, it just felt like they ran out of options on Fracture.
Yeah, but also when your players are doing things like this, which is so dynamic, shout out TP's over here, and it's hilarious because it baits the players away, but also sets up this crossfire here between Zyppan and Shao to take the final fights really, really easily. Shy actually, when he started this round, when that TP happened, he rotates away. He actually thinks they're going back towards B, but also you're getting that TP and crossfire in. It's these types of things things that NAVI consistently do that are so impressive.
And it's exactly the synergy that we heard about in that interview. This team have played together for a long time, and the individuals are all very, very comfortable with playing with each other in these clutch situations and consistently winning them.
Well, all of the players on NAVI were incredible today, but you guys at home had the tough task of voting just one for the MVP poll. We have the results here, and this is who you guys voted for, and it was Xiao, and it was the Xiao show today, let's be honest.
I mean, I'll give it to him just for that ace on Ascent. Like, that thing was disgusting, but I think Sugetsu on the second map too had some moments, some clutches that definitely deserve some praise as well, but Xiao for sure. He's clutching, he's good in the, I mean, he's playing different roles too, playing the Omen in both Icebox and Fracture now, so he's flexible too.
Here's the thing, I am getting echoes of what this team looked like at Copenhagen, where they have a couple individuals that are really good in the clutch, but really it is every single player stepping up at such a high level. We had Xiao winning clutches, we had Sugetsu winning clutches throughout that one, and we also have Angel now, like we heard in that interview, being more and more enabled to absolutely thrive as an individual. The way that he plays and calls in Valorant is so unique, and I think it always does such a great job of setting up his teammates to find rounds like these.
Yeah, and I think they're more than echoes. I think they're reverberations of what happened at Copenhagen. I think they're even stronger than what happened at Copenhagen, honestly. I really think what you just mentioned about Angel being able to be freed up, maybe by the assistant coach in Latex, is really good.
Yeah, and I think that now kind of sets up the question of, they're in the top 4, can they be the first team to win 2 tournaments, 2 international events? And for me, it feels quite likely. Heading into this series, they were the team that has impressed me the most. But I was also incredibly impressed with Leviathan, and this team absolutely decimated them. On Fracture, Leviathan was never able to get into the game whatsoever. I mean, no one does that to him.
This was supposed to be a finals-level match.
Yes.
Finals-level match. I mean, Leviathan was touted as such a good team, and unfortunately we have to say goodbye to them, but this was supposed to be a finals-quality match, which begs the question, what is going to happen next?
Well,
because this team is insane.
Well, that was actually the worst international map performance Leviathan have ever had. The second worst was a 13-5 map loss against DRX, but I don't feel like that was much on the fault of them. NAVI were just that good. Unfortunately, we've had to say goodbye to LEV. They're out of lock-in here, but Mimi, we will catch them in the Americas, and I have faith that they're going to make it to Tokyo.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that this team looked absolutely incredible. They came in with sky-high expectations. Everyone was touting this team Scrimbucks coming into this event, and I think for the most part, they lived up to it. They had great ideas. They still thrived in the chaos, but they had built a lot more structure into the squad. All of the role changes made a ton of sense, and the roster changes were all clear upgrades. I think that for Leviathan, they are going to be one of the absolute top contenders in that Americas League, which is already looking so stacked.
I think you were hoping for a top 4 finish from them, but unfortunately this bracket was just too damn hard, and NAVI was too damn good. So, like, I don't know if you're walking away from this super happy if you're Leviathan, and also I'm wondering, a top 3 finish in Americas is really tough. I'm wondering if they might be one of those teams that need a win here for the Americas League to make it to Tokyo.
Well, we'll see in due course. But we have one more match on the way coming up next. It is 100 Thieves versus Fnatic. First, check out the Prime Gaming post-match highlights here, and we'll catch you on the other side. These are 2 of the best teams in this entire tournament going head to head. Angel looking to lead NAVI to pick up another trophy, and King, they're just looking to make history for Leviathan, and so far they already have.
There's one player at the back of the site, that's Xiao. Got to do the most. Okay, 2 kills. Left to that 1v1, Xiao. He set them up, but can he finish it? Finally does it, and he lands it. Unbelievable. Good lord. Gonna be hopping and skipping, doing a little dance.
Winner dance, guys, winner dance.
NAVI will swarm the site. Can't quite get it, but it is traded out. Taco, knives out, right click, and no more time to plant the spike. That was, where was that from? What? A warbang angle from there? So hard, and seen it, man. He's taking the fight right to them. Nice. Map 1, completely finalized and finished up there. NAVI, what a way to do it. It's up to Sugetsu. 1v3, first shot found. 1, 2, 3! That is absurd!
One tops. We have time for massage. Okay, so don't waste my time, boys. Focus.
Rolling Thunder now, pushing forwards, but that's not the weapon for the job. None of those angles.
Nice, boys. Well done.
No chance in hell. It's NAVI taking it 13-3.
You couldn't make more of a statement to showcase that NAVI are on their hunt for a second trophy.
Red Bull gives you wings.